Ready? Kitty, ready with the percussion?
Kate, no.
Knowing me, knowing you, ha. There is nothing we can do. Knowing me, knowing you, ha. We just have to face it this time. We're through. Breaking up is never easy, I know, but I have to go. Knowing me, knowing you, it's the best I can do.
Yay!
No, that was great. Hello. Welcome to the Boomercast.
My name is Alex Mungo.
Kate somehow.
Lucy Palmless.
Anna.
And the little baby boy, boy is Hayden Dowler.
I'm Hayden Dowler.
Take it away.
I'm getting a very tired energy from everyone here.
Yeah, people seem sleepy, seem tired.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Dan's leaning on his hand. He's looking
cloudy
outside.
out there, so
Can't go outside. Can't
And
roam around.
Let's talk about our zodiac signs.
no, we're just gonna
No.
skip that and move on.
we have some non-believers. We have some believers. We have...
Let's talk about hypnosis.
Okay.
Hypnosis?
What about it?
How much ground is there to cover on that?
Lucy's gonna learn it.
I really want to be hypnotized.
Me
Okay,
too.
So
Have you seen those showcases on YouTube?
I saw
No.
like when they come to like high schools, like for
Yeah,
like,
it's like a-
assembly thing.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, it's a big thing that like seniors do. So
Really? Hypnosis?
Yeah.
What?
I want to know
Dang.
about origins. Like, who came up with, who came up with
Someone
that?
had a yo-yo and they slipped it out of their pocket and someone like got confused.
Really?
That's how
I
it
think being
started.
hypnotized
No.
is all about like how like willing you are to cooperate and how like susceptible you are to like.
See,
Being
and I would never
The
be able
whole
to do
thing with
that.
hypnosis is unless you go into it like wanting it to happen, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
What
And
if you want it
also-
to happen but you don't believe that it is going to happen?
Yeah, I'd be
Then it won't
so.
work.
It definitely won't work on small-minded people.
Whoa.
Oh, not like that. I mean, people...
My mind is little.
Damn.
My mind is little.
Hannah called
I
us
have a little
out.
tiny baby mind.
Hannah called
Yeah.
his little itty bitty baby mind.
You have to be open-minded is what I mean. Small-minded means you're skeptical, and if you're not believing it, going into it, it's probably not going to work if you're not.
I don't know if small-minded
I don't think that's what
means
small-minded
skeptical.
means.
Look up what small-minded means. It means you're not open to certain things. Small-minded
Yeah.
doesn't mean stupid. It
Okay,
just
well
means
the
not
way it's like used is mostly in not that way.
if you're more skeptical and you're more like fact and logic based, which is that there's nothing wrong with that. That's what the way most people are. If you're small, you're going into something and with a certain mind view, you're not open to the possibilities. Is what I mean. If you walk into it thinking, "Oh, this isn't going to work," then it's probably not going to work. So small
It's
minded
just like ghosts. Like
it's a bad thing to
I
me.
think ghosts are so dope. But like I don't
I-
believe in them.
I've been like turned off to the notion of ghosts just because of those really shitty like paranormal hunter like shows that
Yeah.
were on in like 2009 and 2010, and those ones where they would like just go into like haunted locations and they would like pull out the things that record noise frequencies, and they would set it up so it was so like climactic and like, oh, they found like this big breakthrough, and then nothing would happen in the actual episode.
Right.
So that's just
My
made me,
question
like,
is,
about it.
how is it that these are the people who are like the experts on ghosts?
Right.
Like, could we not get like anybody reputable to like try to figure out if
Exactly.
ghosts exist?
Yeah.
Or it's just like Johnny with his radio that's broken, and he walks in and he's
Right.
like, "I hear them saying stuff on the
He's
radio."
Yeah.
the average Joe, one of the mill
I
people.
don't usually
Literally.
believe that seeing is believing, but when it comes to certain things like that, I'm like, all right, I
Yes,
see
Kate.
where skeptical people come from on this. You know.
Yes, Kate.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
May I bring up the counterpoint of Ed and Lorraine Warren, may they rest in peace. The premier paranormal investigators of the late 19th century. They worked on Amityville. They were the Annabelle doll people. They have their Museum of the Occult in Connecticut.
Conjuring, the Conjuring.
Yeah, The
movie.
Conjuring.
They were the real deal. I'm just gonna say that.
Stuff is so crazy though. They have a whole occult museum where they have these haunted relics and artifacts that they believe like are possessed. And I remember it was a few years ago, maybe like 2016 or something, but it was when the Annabelle movies came out. But they like painted it as like a more creepy doll, but it was a Raggedy Ann doll, and they had the real one in their like museum, which is their basement. And they were doing like a relocating like Facebook Live, and they had like gloves on, and they had like this big glass wall between it because they're so strict on like not touching it, because if you touch it then like the spirit's gonna possess you. It's crazy.
People
but there's
I
have,
want to touch it now.
there are
I
a
know
few
I wanna
instances
touch
of people
it.
like taunting the doll and tapping the glass, and then they have problems with like cars and motorcycles and stuff on the way home. Like a few people have died. So.
I know
I want to
Kate's
touch it.
I know Kate's like standpoint on ghosts and spirits, but I want to know. I feel like I don't know what the rest of you guys really think about that stuff. I know obviously what Kate thinks.
Wait, really fast. I just want to let the audience know that the museum's currently closed. The Museum of the Occult. It's closed because of zoning laws, but they're trying to figure out a way around it or a new location because their son is running it now.
Go, Alex, first. I want to know what you think about ghosts because I'm very curious what you think.
I think that ghosts are, and excuse my French, a load of hooey.
Really?
I
Okay.
think that there is a big portion of hooey that is sitting in a pile, and that's where haunted houses live, and that's where radio frequencies live, and Martians, not like aliens, but like green boys with the big eyes. I think that ghosts would be really cool if they existed, and if I run into one, I'll believe it.
Right.
Like, I'm open-minded in that if I have a paranormal experience, I'll be into it.
Yeah.
But like, every evidence that I've ever seen is like,
You have
one time I saw a ghost and then it scared me and my toothpaste fell over. It's
that's
like,
how a lot of people I know are. They
Okay.
haven't had a paranormal experience, so why would you think otherwise if you haven't been led to believe, like, or some people it's after they lose. Not that like if you haven't lost a loved one, you don't know, but a lot of people after
like
losing
those horses in Harry Potter.
Sure.
You can only see them when you've seen
You
someone
can only
die.
see them when you see someone die, and then you can believe in ghosts.
That's how so many people I know are. Like my mom, through my life, I've watched both of her parents die, and I've just seen her. She's a very fact and logic based person. I've seen her perception on things that she can't see grow more and more because you want to be open to it when it's someone that you've lost on a physical realm. You want to think that they are not on a physical realm, but you can still be around them. So it's so interesting to me how people are more open to it after losing somebody.
Right.
I'm a logical person, but I'm very open to like this sort of like mystic stuff. Like I think astrology is interesting, so like I'll like read into the stuff and kind of like I find it interesting, but I'm not gonna like base my like decisions off of it, or like let it have any merit over my life and like how I like react and act. But for ghosts, I think the thing with me is, one, I haven't had like an authentic experience with some like paranormal entity, and two, I think it's been ruined for me, like, and it's just kind of been more of like a fear instilled thing because of all like the movies they make. So it's not like I want to have one, because the only way they paint like these experiences are negative.
Yeah, I hear like, so the restaurant I work at is supposedly, everyone thinks it's like super haunted, and I've worked there for a year and I've never had any like experience with any ghosts there, but everyone has a story to tell about like seeing some type of ghost there. And I don't know, I don't even know if I believe it or not, but like I feel like once I do see something or if I experience something, I will. But until then, I'm like, I don't know.
I think of like Bronwyn. Shout out Bronwyn and her story. Apparently, like according to her and her family, they have like the friendly ghost of somebody. Is it somebody who died on the property, or?
It was so Bronwyn is our friend, and she lives in this really, really old farmhouse. And what I mean by old is like the beginning of the 20th century old. It's rickety, like sometimes it's a very, really beautiful house, but it's the kind of house where like the central heating system always has problems because it's old. It was a farmhouse. The couple that originally lived there and built it, they died, an older couple, like they lived their whole married life through it. And they just have a few stories about it being like a friendly kind of presence, but there are definitely things that would happen that they couldn't really explain with any kind of logic. Like, they try to think about, well, how could this have happened? But I can't think of too many stories off the top of my head. I just remember
the wedding ring one.
Her wedding ring kept getting moved around, and she was like interrogating the whole family, being like, "Who keeps picking up my wedding ring?" And this was like, they weren't little kids, so they weren't picking it up and just moving around. This was pretty recently, I'm pretty sure. So that one was kind of stuck with me. But
didn't it? If I remember correctly, I think it fell down the drain once when she was like doing the dishes or something, and she was so upset she like called the plumber, called all this stuff, and then she came back into the room and it was sitting on the counter.
Oh my god.
Maybe she just forgot she took it off.
That's possible, but she said she remembered literally like it slipping and going down the drain.
Any married person I know, when they lose a wedding ring or something, they like are freaking out, crying. Like I feel like it's one of those. It's such a symbolic like item that if you lose it, and then you have to explain to whoever you're married to, like, I lost it down the drain. Like, it's a whole mess. So I feel like watching it go down the drain would be like such a freak out moment that would stay with me personally if I'm thinking about it in that way. But that would be a logical explanation. Maybe she took it off.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. That could have happened, but it also could have been the other way, open to both sides.
She was at the kitchen.
What if it's a cow?
The ghost?
Yeah, the ghost is a cow.
It was like,
why would it be a cow, Alex?
Because they live in a farmhouse. That's where cows live, on farms. It's a cow ghost, and then that's why I get so mad whenever they eat steaks.
Yeah.
Are cows against marriage?
Cows hate the sanctity of marriage. They hate it so much. They hate the Catholic Church and everything it stands for.
Oh my god.
Except on Fridays, because Catholics don't eat beef on Fridays, and they love that. They love that they did that.
My first Catholic church service that I ever went to was for a funeral a few months ago. And it was nothing like I have ever experienced in my life. I don't want to say weird, because I would only say weird in the way where I was like, and grew up in like a Methodist church where it's so like different. It's more about like singing and everyone hugging each other, and Catholic church is very like everyone just kind of keeps to themselves.
A big bummer.
Yeah.
A big bummer.
I'm just not gonna sit here and like shit all over Catholicism.
I'm allowed to because I'm confirmed.
I know you are.
It's really like down-putting. Like, it's less of a celebration of their life and more of like a mourning almost. I don't know.
This
a
funeral
mourning
that I
for
went to-
everything you've ever done that wasn't considered godly.
Well, this funeral I went to, they kept just referring to her the whole time as, and maybe there's nothing wrong with this. I just was like, this isn't what I would want to be referred to as at my funeral. She kept being referred to as a servant, or like I think that's what they were saying, like a servant of God. And that term is used a lot in church. But to me, if I'm like, let's say I'm a ghost. We're talking about ghosts. I'm a ghost sitting there at my funeral, and I'm like, oh, they're about to share some nice memories about me. And they're like, she was a servant of God. I'd be like, no, talk about how I was a grandmother and a mother and like all these things. I don't know, something about a servant of God, and it was so solemn the whole time. I don't know.
Okay, here's something fun. If everybody was a ghost, where would they haunt?
Either the location of where they died or whatever energy they become attracted to.
Okay, but like if you had
You
the choice,
specifically.
like if you had the choice and you were like, I'm gonna haunt this place, what would you do if you were a ghost?
I think I'd haunt. Can I pick two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
I would like to haunt a forest or an amusement park.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Like corn dogs. That's it.
Could you
Fun
eat?
treat.
Can ghosts eat?
No.
No.
Ben, why does that give me?
That'd be so sad.
It gives me like
What?
Gravity Falls energy, like amusement park ghost. I don't know
Haunted
why.
amusement park, like
Ooh.
Yeah.
maze of mirrors.
I think I would want to haunt like a haunted house, like haunt like a fake, scary attraction, so people
Right.
just think like it's all just a gimmick, but like it's actually.
But really, Hayden is
That'd
in
be
there.
good.
You tell him to stop,
But really, it's Hayden Dowla in there.
you tell him to stop, but he is in there.
he is in there.
I feel like I'd want to haunt like a library, because I feel like I'd just get so bored in like eternity that I'd just be like, I'll just read everything. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'll probably get bored about my third time through Merriam-Webster's.
I'd want to haunt the White House.
Ooh.
I would like to see all the scandalous things happening in there if I don't end up working there one day, but that would be so freaking cool
That
to
would
like.
be cool. Plus, you wouldn't be the only ghost there. You'd be chilling there with like a bunch of other president ghosts, probably.
Yeah.
Apparently, the White House, if you believe in ghosts, whatever, apparently the White House is like, a lot of people have talked about it being haunted if they visit. Because you can visit like certain parts of it.
But did presidents die in the White House?
I'm
Probably.
sure many did. Out of all the presidents we've had, I'm sure there are some that have died there. Or
They're all old.
Yeah, old ones. Well,
Yeah,
not a lot of
since-
presidents have died in office, though.
Right.
I'm
That's what
sure,
I'm
but I'm
saying.
sure like there have been people, even if they're
Abe
not
Lincoln
presidents, that
chilling in
died
the.
there.
Abe Lincoln's chilling in the bowling alley.
No, Abe
That's
Lincoln,
where he is.
Abe Lincoln, a few people have, like, the paranormal experiences. I don't know where I've heard this, but the paranormal experiences they have had, I'm pretty sure Abe Lincoln was one that was, like...
Yeah, that's so weird.
Really?
Wait, do you have to haunt if this is like the rule of like ghosts? Do you have to haunt where you die, or can you go anywhere?
Ask Kate.
I think the rule is you have to haunt where you die.
Not necessarily. I don't think that's necessarily the rule. I think you can haunt where you die. I think it depends on the death. I think it depends on how much comprehension you have as a ghost. But you could also be in the place where you spent most of your life.
Yeah, super lame to like get hit by a car in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and then you gotta haunt just like that stretch of highway.
Yeah.
That'd be whack.
I would want to haunt, like, an old building in, like, Amsterdam or New York or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
The ruins of a castle.
I want to haunt a speakeasy.
Yeah.
Do those still exist?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Speaking of like haunted items, apparently there's this like new cursed doll going around on Twitter. Have you guys seen this?
No.
So it's this.
This has Kate written all over.
I think the haunted doll is so funny.
I don't even know if it'll show up, but this is what it looks like.
Ew, what the fuck? Wait, what? I need to know.
The caption: I am not scared of this doll. Okay, brag about it.
But it's like
What the fuck?
I think it's called Robert.
Robert? Fuck no. There's no way that's how
Robert.
a doll. His fucking
Um,
Robert.
Ooh.
I'm trying to find more information
Or Bobby.
about it. Hold on.
We, like, all get
Bobby.
killed by Robert tonight. We're literally all
What up,
dying.
Bob?
Because we're all like, ooh,
Mr.
Robert.
Bobby.
Ooh, Robert, stupid
Yeah,
fucking
his name is Robert.
ghost.
He
Here
killed
is
all of
another
us.
picture of it. It looks like it's a sailor and he has a dog in his lap.
Ew, what
Well, that's
the
kind of
fuck?
cute.
Wait, it's the
Fucking
same
cute.
dog or doll?
Same
Dog.
same dog, different
Same dog.
doll. It's actually the dog that's
Dog.
haunted.
Here we go. There's a caption under it. It says, Robert the Doll is a true ghost story about a haunted doll in a museum in Key West, Florida. The doll is real, and some say it is a subject of an evil curse. Many people claim they have seen it blinking and moving. Oh my gosh.
Ew.
Kate,
Kate,
you
go.
can just talk.
Yeah, Kate, you can just literally talk.
Oh, okay. So demons can't actually possess objects. That's a myth. Demons can possess people. However, they can use objects to speak through or move them in order to manipulate people, which was the whole thing with the Annabelle doll. Which I don't know if you know the story of that, but it was basically like two girls in college. Her mom gave her this creepy doll as a gift, and it was moving around and scratching people. And
Ew.
the spirit asked for full permission to move into the doll, but they were actually just granting the demon that was trying to possess the doll like free right to do whatever the hell it wanted in their apartment. And they had to get an exorcist. So
That's terrifying.
a lot of the time,
Kate,
Is
it's
there
not-
like a
the time
traitor
demons
ghost?
appear as small children, or they present themselves as little children in order to be less threatening and more manipulative.
There's got to be like some kind of traitor ghost, right? Because like how the hell do we
What do
know
you
all
mean?
that? Like how do we know the rules? There's got to be like some traitor ghost who like
Ed and
walked in like,
Lorraine.
hey y'all, check this out. Demons, they
No,
can't be
yeah.
in dolls. Do not even try it. Don't try it, yo. I got you. Next time, call me.
Everything Hannah?
Alex would be a
Snitch.
traitor ghost.
Ghost snitch.
Oh my god.
What, Hannah?
Dang.
Hayden, tell your story about last night, please, for the love of God.
Oh,
What?
I don't know. I don't think it was like anything
Oh.
because it
What
sounded.
was that?
Okay, so I have this BB-8 thing. It's like the Sphero one that came out a while ago. That is like, it's like you control it with your phone, whatever, and it's like head is like a magnet. It's like gyroscope. gyro, is that the word? Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like head can move. And so last night, like, I'm just like in my room just chilling, and like I see its head moving. But it's like, I don't know. It like when I because I took videos of it, and so when I listen to them, you can hear like, I don't know. It's not just like moving on its own, like like it doesn't sound like it's just like free moving. Like it sounds
so
like
funny though.
like the movement is being controlled or something.
So did someone does anyone else have access to it?
No, I like
And
I
was
don't
it
know
on?
what it was.
But the weird thing is, Hayden, is when you tried it that one time, it didn't even work. Like 2 minutes after
No,
you
the
tried
battery
it,
like lasts like 30 seconds.
then how did it work so well, like without you even controlling it? Like I don't get it.
I don't
It's
know.
so weird. That's
Delayed
so weird.
reaction.
Oh yeah, that's so weird. Oh gosh.
BB-8.
I
think
never
I-
have an experience of seeing something moving like on its own, but I've definitely had the chills. Like I feel like there's a ghost in the room at a very haunted house next door that is a historical building. So that's the only real time I really felt like, but I never like seen anything moving by itself.
I think Hayden's a ghost, guys. I think he's a ghost.
Lucy, wake up.
Why else would he be so anti-ghost?
I'm not
Because
anti-ghost. Well, I guess
he's
I'm
trying to
anti-ghost.
lead us off the scent.
You're so right.
Oh,
I think
Stinks.
Lead us off of the set.
Smells like poltergeist.
Ugh.
I babysat there once, and then Kate babysat there
Oh,
after
Lucy
me,
has
and then I kept
stories.
babysitting for them. And Kate was like, "That place is haunted, right?" And I was like, "I didn't feel any weird experiences because other than just being freaked out that I was the only one awake in that house that I've never been to before." And Kate was like convinced it was haunted, like convinced.
That's so funny because I completely forgot the house I babysat at. I don't really babysit anymore because COVID. But the house I used to babysit all the time for is totally haunted.
Really?
There was one night, actually there was like 2 nights where this has happened, where you'll hear footsteps running along the hallway right
No.
next to the little boy's room. And I'll go upstairs like, okay, of course he's up and he's like not going to bed. And I'll go up there, he's dead asleep. I'm like, okay, maybe it's his brother. So I go to his brother's room. They're both asleep. Like, it's terrifying. I'll go back downstairs. I'll still hear footsteps.
That is
It's
terrible.
Could it be that he
awful.
was just pretending to be
Yeah, I was gonna
asleep?
say, I think Lucy's getting played.
Or maybe
No,
it's
no,
like
no.
a pipe thing.
Yeah, they are literally, you can tell when they're
No,
out.
you can tell when they're faking. Kids are so stupid. They're like,
Yeah. Also, they'll be giggling, or their lights will be on.
They
or their
will be
doors
laughing, or
open.
lights will be on.
It's
Or
so
they'll have
clear to tell.
Have
But
it on or something that they're playing with. Yeah,
they're like
Put up a
passed out. I'm
camera.
like,
that's weird.
I would be terrified to do that. But yeah, that house it's so scary. And that's not the only time that it's happened. There have been like plenty of times and different houses that it's happened at. So it's very
Lucy,
weird.
didn't your mom, not to expose her, didn't she like sell a haunted house once?
Yes, she sold one where like lights she has to go around in each room and like turn off the lights when she leaves. I don't know, she knows more about this, but
I don't know this story.
when she left, she saw one light still on or something and went back up to turn it off. And I don't know, the lights would just stay on after she turned them off, or they come back on after she turned them off. I don't know, it's something weird like that. But she was like convinced it was haunted, and everyone that like sold it with her was very convinced too. She's experienced way too many haunted houses as a real estate agent, so.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the profession to get into if you
Right.
wanna see some haunted houses.
You want to see some?
And my sister, so my mom used to have this house that she lived at. We moved out of it when I was like 2, and it is like right next. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, it had a pool in the backyards, and I'm so terrible at telling stories. And there's a pool in the backyards, and they found out that someone, like a little girl, had drowned in the pool
No, I knew.
and died. And
Classic.
so my sister and my mom were out night swimming one night, and my sister was like 8 years old, I think. And my sister was going off the diving board, and something tripped her, and she fell and like cut a whole like part of her leg off. She had to go to the hospital and all this stuff. And my sister was convinced it was the little girl that drowned
I
in the
wouldn't
pool,
trust
had,
an 8-year-old's account.
I
She
know,
probably
but also
just
weird.
tripped. She just tripped.
Said, "Don't trip."
She was 8.
Dang.
She tripped. Kids are
Okay,
clumsy.
yeah, but it's still weird. Okay, a little girl had drowned in that pool, and then she was like, "How?" I mean,
It's
she's
coincidence.
been on.
It's literally.
I don't
all
know. I don't
coincidence.
know.
I know, but I wouldn't rule it out. You know,
I would.
I would. Well, because it's just like these. You only recognize that it would be paranormal experience because you know that it happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I get into a car accident on my way to like school or something, I'm not gonna be like, but it was a ghost.
Yeah.
But if I learn about a ghost in my car, then I get in a car accident, people are like, that's a ghost.
That's a
You know what I
ghost.
mean?
Like Hannah, would you have
It's
believed that?
textual.
Would you have believed that house you babysat at was haunted if Kate didn't say that she thought it was haunted?
Well, I didn't think it was.
No, I
Oh,
think
you
I-
didn't think it was haunted. Okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I didn't have any experience with it, but I get what you mean about confirmation bias. Like, you go to that house because you heard a little girl drown in it. You're gonna go into it being like it's haunted.
Like,
So then
it's
if you have an
right,
experience,
Exactly.
kind of
So
thing.
your
Right.
mind's
I
already
I think
filled
also
with
they
it.
had like previous experiences with it, and they were just freaked out from that house. And then when it finally happened, my sister was just like, "That's it. Like this is it has to be her."
I've also had plenty of. I'm not like the kind of person who walks into a place and immediately gets a gut feeling that it's haunted. Like Kate has that skill. I just walk into it and I'm like, doo-doo, and then I have an experience and I'm like, okay, I feel like that was a paranormal experience. So I've had a lot of experiences where I go into it not thinking that anything of it, and then I walk out being like, that was weird. Especially my prime example is the house next door to me, like growing up, is a really old house. It's a historic house. They can't tear it down. They just have to remodel it time after time. And I didn't go over it a lot when I was really, really young. But then the people moved out and started renting it. And then these kids our age moved in next door. We would hang out with them all the time. And the house is so old. It has this like spiral staircase that goes upstairs. And I would get this feeling of like, I need to run upstairs. I felt like I needed to like go up there so fast because I just felt like something was behind. And yeah, I was a little kid, but I just had never felt an experience like that before where I was so like freaked out. I was like, I don't know why I get the creeps in here.
And
stuff.
Ouija boards too? No, nothing.
I just think it's really funny what children are afraid of. Like when I was a kid, I never once thought about like ghosts or like monsters in my life.
I never thought about monsters.
I was only afraid of like human beings like breaking into my house and like kidnapping me or something.
I
Yeah.
was so scared of a fire. That was my biggest fear.
Right. But like ghosts weren't even like in my mindset, which is really interesting. Because like
My biggest
clearly
fear
they were
was
in
someone
yours.
breaking into my house too, because like the early 2000s they released all those like films, like that one babysitter film, When a Stranger Calls, where the girl's like babysitting at that like random house in the woods. If you remember it, like if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But like the guy like breaks in, like all those sort of like those films like scared me so bad.
Mm-hmm. You know what really got me? I was afraid to take a shower for like months after I watched that Smosh video. Like if movies were real, and they had the psycho like scene with the girl in the shower, and then the psycho comes in and he stabs her.
Yeah,
that's scary. I couldn't take a shower for like months because of that. I mean, I could.
I wanted to add something real quick. Jake was kind of a skeptic until he went to Gettysburg College, which is like.
Yeah.
He had the weirdest kind of weird, and he's such a skeptic. Like when I tell you, he walked into it just being like, whatever. Like he's so fearless, and he just has he doesn't scare him. If anything, it interests him.
Williamsburg is, oh my gosh, the creepiest place to ever exist.
Imagine going to William and Mary. Isn't that Colonial Williamsburg? Or am I
Is
wrong?
it there? I went to
It's
Colonial
literally like that's
Williamsburg.
what you do on the weekend is you have to go to Colonial Williamsburg.
Right.
Yeah, because I think you said you were the one that was like William and Mary is literally Colonial Williamsburg, and
No, because my brother toured there, and it was like literally if you go to William and Mary, that's all you do is go to William and Mary, and you live next to Colonial Williamsburg.
Okay, Colonial Williamsburg kind of cool though.
I've never
For 5 minutes, not for your life.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I've never been before. I don't think, or
Where
maybe I
is it?
have. I just didn't remember.
They have a restaurant there that has the best root beer I've ever had. Not Colonial Williamsburg, but
Sarsaparilla?
Wait,
And what's
My
the mountain?
neighbor that passed
Hayden,
away.
how long have we been going?
38 minutes.
okay, we done.
Damn.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us on this Boomercast. Ghosts are fun. My name's
Those are
Alex
great.
Mungo.
My name's Albert, the friendly ghost.
I'm Annabelle the haunted doll.
Hi, Lucy.
I am Elizabeth Warren.
And I'm closed-minded. And this has been the
Oh
Boomercast.
my god.
Join us next week where we find the Chupacabra. I'm not joking.
Nessie is next.